In a quiet suburb of Ohio, 34-year-old Mark Stevens sat at his kitchen table, staring at a piece of paper that felt heavier than lead. It wasn't a layoff notice or a legal threat. It was a bill from a 3-day hospital stay following an emergency appendectomy. The total at the bottom read $42,000. For Mark, a high school teacher who had dutifully paid his health insurance premiums for a decade, this number wasn't just a debt, it was a death sentence for his American dream. This is the reality for millions of Americans today. The United States spends more on healthcare than any other high-income nation, yet it remains the only one where a medical emergency can lead to total financial ruin. The medical bill versus the American citizen has become the silent war of the 21st century. Mark's journey into the labyrinth of American medical billing began with a sharp pain in his side. Like most Americans, his first thought wasn't, "Am I going to be okay?" But rather, "Can I afford the?" He drove himself to the hospital to avoid the $2,000 ambulance fee. Even with what he considered good insurance, he soon discovered the trap of out-of-network providers. While the hospital was in his network, the anesthesiologist who kept him asleep during surgery was not. This resulted in a surprise bill of $8,000, a charge his insurance refused to cover. The psychological toll of medical debt is staggering. Recent studies show that nearly 40% of U.S. adults have some form of medical debt, totaling over $220 billion nationally. For people like Mark, it leads to a phenomenon called medical rationing. He began skipping follow-up appointments and splitting his blood pressure pills in half to save money. He wasn't just fighting an infection anymore, he was fighting a system designed to profit from his vulnerability. But why is it like this? The complexity of the U.S. healthcare system is its own industry. Between the hospitals, the insurance giants, and the pharmaceutical middlemen, the patient is often the last priority. In the U.S., a single aspirin in a hospital can cost $30, and a bag of IV saline, which costs less than $1 to produce, is billed at $200. There is no standard pricing, meaning two people in the same room might be charged completely different amounts for the same procedure. As Mark's story circulated on social media, he found he wasn't alone. He met Sarah, a mother from Texas who sold her car to pay for her daughter's insulin, and David, a veteran who lost his home because of cancer treatment costs. These aren't isolated incidents, they are systemic failures. Medical debt is now the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, surpassing credit card debt and student loans. The impact ripples through the entire economy. When families are buried under medical bills, they stop buying homes, they stop investing in small businesses, and they stop spending in their local communities. The medical bill isn't just taking money from individuals, it's draining the lifeblood of the American economy. There is a glimmer of hope, however. New federal laws like the No Surprises Act have started to crack down on some of the most predatory billing practices. Patient advocates are also teaching Americans how to fight back, demanding itemized bills, negotiating for cash prices, and auditing charges that are often riddled with errors. Mark eventually managed to negotiate his bill down to $12,000 by threatening a formal audit, but the damage was done. His savings were gone, and his trust in the system was shattered. The story of the American medical bill is a cautionary tale about what happens when health becomes a commodity rather than a right. As the U.S. continues to debate healthcare reform, the faces of Mark, Sarah, and David serve as a reminder that behind every total due is a human life hanging in the balance. The question remains, in the wealthiest nation on earth, should surviving a disease mean losing your future?